Namaskar, I'm Sanjay Kumar Pradhan. Would like to speak on a topic COVID-19 pandemic and its effects on the global energy market. As you know, Winston Churchill once said, UK is ready to shed a drop of blood for every drop of oil. That implied the geostrategic significance of oil in the conduct of international relations and management of geopolitics. This is not the instance. In 1953, the Mossadegh government of Iran was overthrown by the US backing, and in 1970s there was oil embargo by most of the West Asian countries against the US and its ally because of Arab-Israel war. In 1990s there was Gulf War One, and in 2000s there was a war, another Gulf War, that was against Iraq. And afterwards there was a crisis in the international American energy market that came up with that of Islamic State and its impact on the global energy market, which was very unfortunate in the history, where energy supply, production and energy infrastructure were largely destroyed. And Islamic State, it largely affected the countries like Libya, Iraq and Syria. And to a certain extent, Yemen is not an exemption of that of ongoing civil war by the internal as external forces in Yemen. So this is a period where you can say that energy was most of a suppliers market. But now come to 2010s. During this period, particularly in the mid of 2010, there was the increase of production by the countries like that of US, its cell energy, Iran, not Iran, it is Russia by its excess production of natural gas and oil, then unexpected recovery of Iraq and Libya. And another factor was during that time because of decreasing of oil demands because of global economic recession, because import from Europe, import by the European countries and China decreased drastically. And so that this period we can say it was a buyer's market. But pandemic or the COVID-19 situation has created an atmosphere where it is neither a buyer's market nor a supplier's market. Rather, the today's energy market is market of none. And all these three phases, why I am saying that supplier's market, buyer's market, and now it is a nobody's market. All these show three different trends. Today, because of COVID-19 effects, the global economic production has decreased, human resources have been largely affected, and as a result, there is extremely less demand of oil and natural gas resources. And the countries like that, oil exporting countries like West Asian countries, Venezuela and African oil suppliers are largely affected, because some of these countries are largely based on Dutch disease syndrome. And because of decreasing production, the global market is by and large going towards in a direction where it is difficult to predict what will be the future of energy in the global energy market. If you see the US and its human resource economic devastation, it is expected that US will import less and less energy from the countries like of West Asia, and thus West Asia will be of less importance for the US foreign policy in future. Another thing, they have also their own shale resources, and it is an opportunity for for Russia, which is less affected if compared to US, to export more and more. But problem is that who will take their resources, who will take consume the oil and gas of Russia, because all the countries in the world are affected economically and production has decreased, and so that their economic base is at a doldrum. Now we can see the countries like that of China, another country, the country that is under bamboo cotton, and the country where the information is difficult to get how much damage and the devastation has taken place. But anyway, we can say that in future China will also require less and less energy because of its economic problems that it has faced. Now if you go look into the Indian scenario, it has two implications. One, the decreasing crude price to the level of $20 per barrel implies that it is an opportunity for Indian businessmen or community or the consumers to exploit the opportunity. But problem is that all the sectors of economy are affected. So where this cheap oil will be used? And another thing, if we look at that of investment point of view, ONGC, Reliance and other oil companies, they have invested largely in overseas energy market. So definitely they are facing the problem of loss, and in future they will face the problem of loss, because at the time they purchased the oil blocks was at that time's international crude price mechanism and formula, so that they are extremely going to face a problem in future, provided how long the COVID and how much damage the COVID-19 creates. And now we can say that looking to all these perspectives, the ongoing crisis or situation all over the world is a matter of discussion that on which direction the oil and natural gas resources will go. And to conclude, we can say the production, consumption and supply of oil in the global market will much affected by two factors: how much damage the economies or human resources have been facing today, and how long the COVID-19 disease will continue. And if we see that of Western countries or major economic powers vis-a-vis India, we can say India is doing better than that of the other countries in the world. And it is expected that India will do better with regard to its trade and investment and energy consumption and investment in the energy assets with a very positive note. Thank you.